Hello students, the topic for today is human circulatory system. In this topic, we are going to learn about the parts of the circulatory system and the process of circulation. So let's start. The circulatory system in the human body consists of heart, blood and blood vessels. So you must be thinking, what is the function of the circulatory system? Now, the circulatory system helps to distribute various useful substances within the body. Also, it removes the unwanted products from the body through blood. So now let's see each part of the circulatory system. We start with the heart. The heart is the muscular organ for blood circulation. It is made up of specialized muscles called as the cardiac muscles. The outer covering of the heart is a double membrane layer known as pericardium, and the intermembrane space is filled with a fluid known as the pericardial fluid. Now, this heart is also composed of valves. The heart is divided into auricles, also known as atria, and the ventricles. Now, the heart pumps blood to all the parts of the body, also supplies oxygenated blood and nutrients to all the cells of the body, receives blood containing carbon dioxide and pumps it to the lungs for purification. So now let's talk about the structure of heart in a little detail. The heart comprises of 4 chambers which are known as, first one is the right auricle, also known as the right atrium. It is the upper right chamber of the heart. It receives deoxygenated blood from various parts of the body. Now this deoxygenated blood is then sent to the other chamber, that is the right ventricle. It is the lower right chamber of the heart and receives the deoxygenated blood from the right auricle. Now from here, the deoxygenated blood passes to the lungs for oxygenation. Then we move to the left auricle. It is the upper left chamber of the heart. It receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. Now this oxygenated blood is then transferred to the left ventricle. It is the lower left chamber of the heart, and the oxygenated blood in the left ventricle is then transported to various parts of the body. So these are the 4 chambers, that is the right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle and left ventricle. Now let's see the second part, that is the blood. Now blood is the fluid connective tissue of the body. Its main functions include transportation of nutrients, water, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are carried by the RBCs which contain hemoglobin. Blood also carries waste which is generated by the cells during metabolism to the kidneys for filtration. And also the white blood cells present in the blood protect our body from infections. So now students, we move on to the third part, that is the blood vessels. Now the blood vessels are of 2 types, arteries and veins. Arteries are the largest of all blood vessels. They carry oxygenated blood. Now there is one exception, that is pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood. So arteries carry oxygenated blood from heart to all the different parts of the body. Aorta is the largest artery which carries oxygen to all the parts of the body. Then we go to the other one, that is the veins. Now veins carry deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body back to the heart. Here also there is an exception, that is the pulmonary vein which carries oxygenated blood. Now there are 2 main veins, that is the first one, the superior vena cava. It carries or brings blood from the upper part of the body. So mainly this superior vena cava brings all the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body to the heart. Then we have the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava brings all the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body to the heart. then these arteries and veins further divide into capillaries, which are the thinnest blood vessels, and they connect arteries to veins. Now students, let's understand the process of circulation. Now majority of mammals, they have double circulatory system. In this, the blood passes through the heart twice. First is the pulmonary circulation, that is related to the lungs. So let's see. Here the heart receives the impure, that is deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body into the right atrium or right auricle. From the right auricle, it enters into the right ventricle. And from the right ventricle, this deoxygenated blood is sent to the lungs for purification, that is oxygenation. Now, blood vessels coming from the lungs carry this oxygenated blood back to the heart. Next is the systemic circulation. So here, the blood vessels, that is the veins, carry the deoxygenated blood from all the different parts of the body to the heart, and after oxygenation, the oxygenated blood is then sent to all the parts of the body. So how does this happen? The superior and inferior vena cava, they bring the deoxygenated blood to the heart. From the heart, the deoxygenated blood is then passed to the lungs for oxygenation. After oxygenation, from the lungs, the oxygenated blood is then sent back to the heart, and this oxygenated blood is then pumped out of the heart and is received by all the parts of the body. Thus, you can see the blood is received by the heart twice, and that is why in mammals we say we have double circulation. So, we also have an important node in the heart called as the sinoatrial node or the pacemaker. It is the primary natural pacemaker of the heart, and it is located in the upper right corner of the right auricle. Now this SA node is extremely important. As you know, it is called as the pacemaker. So it is responsible for setting the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart, which we call as the heartbeat. So now students, we know that heart is one of the most vital organs of the body, and thus heart diseases are one of the leading causes of death worldwide. So let's study about some heart related conditions. First, we'll talk about palpitations. Now, what are palpitations? They are increased or decreased heartbeat. So, if there is increased or decreased heartbeat, we call it as palpitation. So, if the heartbeat increases to about 100 beats, so the normal heartbeat is 72 times per minute. So, if it increases to 100 beats per minute, it is known as tachycardia. Whereas, if it decreases to 60 beats per minute, it is called as bradycardia. And if the heartbeat is irregular, it is known as arrhythmia, also known as dysrhythmia. The second condition is hypertension. When the flow of blood is higher than the normal, it is called as hypertension. It damages the blood vessels as the blood pressure is high, and it may also lead to hemorrhage, that is internal bleeding. The third condition is heart attack. A disruption in the flow of oxygen to the cardiac muscles causes a heart attack. So the lack of oxygen leads to death of the cardiac muscles in the heart, and this leads to heart attack. Symptoms include tightness or squeezing of the chest, shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, etc. The fourth condition is cardiac arrest. A sudden disruption in the functioning of the heart causes cardiac arrest. During a cardiac arrest, blood is not circulated throughout the body. So these were some of the conditions of the heart. Now let's see a few points to how we can keep our heart healthy. First, eating healthy food and regular exercise. Then we should avoid food that contains an excess of oil and fats. You should eat fruits that contain a high amount of fiber. And also, one of the major causes of heart diseases is obesity. So we should live a healthy lifestyle. So students, if you've understood the topic, can you answer this? What is double circulation, and what are the different parts of the circulatory system. I hope you understood the topic clearly. For more information, keep learning with us. Thank you.